Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about trombone Warhorses. Stick around. Hi, I'm Jason at Alamo Music. Come and check us out on our website, alamomusic.com. Today we're going to be looking at two of the most common horns out there, the 88H, the Bach Conn-Selmer, and the Yamaha 882. This one is an 882GO. We'll get into what OG means in a second. But first we'll talk about the Bach 88. Tenor trombone, got your trigger right here. If you notice, you've got a different color brass section here with the bell, different material than the rest of the instrument. So it's not a one-piece bell, but it's a two-piece bell. Right here is a joint. To contrast that with the Zeno, this is a one bell unit. You don't have the bell attached. It's a one-piece deal. This obviously with two different kind of metals, not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but it should give it a little bit more color, a little bit more resonance. Let's listen to it a little bit. So being a euphonium player, I find myself on really both of these instruments having to move my air a little bit faster than I normally would down low. I guess that's one adjustment that I would have to make as a euphonium player to really either one of these trombones. But they play really free and easy. Nice characteristic trombone sound, a little bit of that trombone brightness, but there's definitely a lot of resonance to that sound. The wrap, and we'll get into this a little bit more when we talk about this instrument over here. This is an open wrap, so this is the opposite of that. This will give you a little bit more resistance, especially down low. It might be one reason why I'm having to work a little bit harder getting my low notes out. But in terms of comparing and contrasting these horns, this is probably the most obvious one with the different wraps. This will give you a little bit more resistance. This gives you less. As far as which one is better, there's really no answer to that. I mean, it really depends on the player, and the advice I'll always give people is come and play on these things and see how they feel to you. So the other horn we're taking a look at today is the YSL-882GO. The G signifies that this part of the instrument, the bell, is a gold brass, which should give it a little bit more color. Also compared to the 88H, the bell is bigger. This is 8.5. I want to say this is 8 3/4. So it's just a little bit bigger. The metal is a little bit heavier, and between the gold and the heavier alloy and the bigger bell, it's supposed to give you a nice kind of a warmer sound, if that applies to a trombone. Let's listen to a little bit of it. So for me as a euphonium player, this feels more similar to what I'm used to on a euphonium. That may or may not be a good thing on a trombone. It's up for somebody else to decide. But the open wrap definitely, to me, gives it a little bit more resistant. Some players might want to have that resistance to more securely slot notes. Like I always say, it's really about coming and checking out the instruments and seeing what they feel like to you. I have a friend of mine who always refers to brass instruments as imagination amplifiers. So that's what we're looking at here, imagination amplifiers. That's why I'm not really going to take sides in construction with alloys or any of that, because when it comes down to it as a player, you have the sound in your ear that you want, and you're going to be seeking out the equipment that you want from the type of horn, from the type of mouthpiece that matches that sound that you have in your ear. I can't recommend that to a good player. They have that fully formed idea in their head already. So with this instrument, like we said, it is an open wrap, so there is a little bit less resistance down low. We hadn't really talked about it, but for any of you newbies to trombone, when we talk about an F attachment, that's this part up here, it has a trigger. So on my euphonium, I have 4 valves. The 4th valve is a substitute for the 1 and 3 fingering combination. It's the same idea with this trigger. Instead of going all the way out 7th, you just hit the trigger, and it adds another, whole 5th or more onto the instrument down below. So this much length is equal to out here in 7th-ish position. So having a trigger is kind of a good thing, especially if you're playing real technical stuff down low. If you're playing an instrument without a trigger, you're having to use all those like real slide positions. With this, you can keep everything closer to the bell, so your speed is definitely increased with that. So that's the whole point of the F attachment, adding some range down below and making it easier technically just to move around the instrument. So this was our very quick and very rough introduction to these two instruments. You could give a doctoral dissertation on trombone construction and all that. I'm not going to get too far in the weeds with all that. So quick and dirty, that's what we're doing here. So please like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you downtown at the store.